Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of a spring season preview here at Gettysburg College. This time around, we're talking golf, and joining me today are junior Danny Harcourt and senior Jake Ecke from the Bullets men's golf team. Obviously, guys, it's not golf weather out there right now, and unless you like the winter golf and, you know, the neon golf balls and everything out there. I don't think that's going to work around here this time of year. So we're going to preview the season anyways. You guys have been in competition, had a great fall slate. Competed last week down in Myrtle Beach. We had an invitational down there, the Barefoot Invitational. So we'll get right into talking about the season. And Jake, we'll start with you. You know, as I said, we had a pretty good fall season. Team scoring average, I think, was around 311. Ended with a great end at the Randolph-Macon Ted Keller Memorial Tournament. That's a mouthful. Shooting 299 and 296 on the 2 days and winning the Invitational too. And of course, this guy was the individual medalist too, which wasn't too bad. So, you know, just looking back at that, look at the fall season, you know, how can the team build off of that, and particularly the end of the season there?
Well, I think right from the start of the season, when we get to school in August, we're kind of building toward our conference championship, which doesn't come until the very end of the spring season. So we get to use the fall kind of as a launch pad to get a good start to the season, and I think that win will give us a lot of momentum moving forward. Always feels good to end the season with a win and go into the winter with a win. And I know everyone's been practicing a lot, so I think it's going to lead to more good things.
Of course, Danny, as I mentioned, you were the individual medalist at that Invitational. You were Conference Player of the Week twice as well in the fall. You're the team's leading scorer right now, I believe right around 74.1 or somewhere in there, coming off a good round, 78 last week at the Barefoot Invitational too. So how do you go out on the course and how do you handle the pressure of kind of being that top player out there?
I don't really see it as much as pressure. It's more motivation to just keep working harder and harder to come out every week and beat everyone I play. My goals have changed a lot since I've gotten to school. After freshman fall, I kind of just wanted to get into the top 15 scoring average. And now to be leading it, I'm looking more at my national ranking. I finished 79th in the fall. So I'm trying to get that average down and get my ranking up so that I can contribute to the team as much as possible and give us the best chance to win.
And of course, you've got some good competition from your teammates as well, which we'll get into a little bit later. So, you know, Jake, you are the lone senior on the team, your fourth season here at Gettysburg College. What do you see as your role on the team as a leader and one of the veteran performers?
I guess I just have a lot of experience going through the season, knowing what it's like to manage class and golf, and especially when it gets more busy during the spring. So I'm just trying to help these guys understand what it's like to play in the tournaments, especially with all the young people. And just mainly, I want to make sure everyone has fun. I think the team works so much better when we're all enjoying each other's company while we're competing. So just trying to create a good team environment for everyone.
Yeah, I certainly don't think people realize like how much time you guys have to put in. I mean, not only do you have to go out and compete and play rounds every day or as often as you can, those rounds can last 3.5 hours. I mean, depending on what you're working on, what you're doing, and not to mention the time you guys put in downstairs in the TrackMan too. So a lot of hours on the golf course, but you guys like golf, so it all works out pretty well, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, Danny, that kind of segues into the next question. Obviously, we're not getting out on the course this week. You guys come back and we get a foot of snow. So it makes it a little tough to practice. But you know, you guys do have some equipment, some tools at your disposal that will help you get those round in, get those shots in, perfect your game. Can you talk a little bit about how the team's preparing and using those implements so far?
Yeah, I mean, now that we're back, we're just basically in there every day, working on keeping our ball striking sharp, our putting strokes consistent. I mean, everyone uses their time slots. Harder than ever to get in there and get some time. So it's good to see that everyone's putting in work. And I mean, it's been a big help over the whole. I mean, it's the past 3 years. Honestly, it's been a huge help to our team. It's an enormous advantage over other programs who don't have it, and it lets us all kind of create our own routines in there and just really never have an off season where you put the clubs away. If you have something working in the fall, you can just keep working on it over the winter and bring it right into the spring. So it's an enormous help. And obviously, right now where there's nowhere to hit outside, it's an enormous help. So
yeah, with the TrackMan too, I mean, there's a lot of different courses that are put into that, correct? I mean, there's some PGA courses on there. Do you guys have a favorite you like to play on that?
I kind of like PGA National. It's pretty tough, but it's nice weather.
Jake, how about you?
I like to play Pebble Beach. I've actually been lucky enough to play there in person, so it's fun to go and play it on basically like a video game, and it's exciting. The graphics are great. Honestly, it looks just like the course.
Oh yeah, I'd always go Pebble Beach on Tiger Woods for sure.
That's right.
And St. Andrews too. I always like going to St. Andrews on Tiger. So Jake, coming back to you. Obviously, this is going to be your final campaign coming up. What are your personal goals for this season?
I guess I don't really have any personal goals other to enjoy my last season and play really well, but I think the team goal is to win a conference championship in advance and have the chance to play in the national tournament. So I think we're all working towards that and all have that as our final goal this season.
It's a good final goal to have, for sure. We alluded to this a little bit earlier, Danny. You and Dane Sether-Hofstad, who is also a junior, top 2 scorers on the team the last three years, all 3 years, correct? Dane just got back. I think he was studying abroad in the fall. Came back at a great tournament last week, shot 75, finished runner-up. Right ahead of you. So you guys have kind of started off that little inter-team rivalry a little bit to some degree. So talk a little bit about how your games differ out there, and do you guys kind of have a rivalry every tournament you guys go to?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of our games, I think we both drive the ball very well. I probably rely on my ball striking a little bit more, and I just wait for days where I can drop some putts, but it's something I've worked on over this winter. And he's a great ball striker as well, but I feel like he's a better putter than me as of the past. So it'll be interesting to see how our games are this spring. And as far as our rivalry, I mean, I feel like every time we go to a tournament, it's either me or him who's going to win it. So it's really just seeing who's going to be hot for that day. And even on the times where it's like a two round tournament, I could have the round in the first I could have the lead after the first round, and he'll come back and steal the win from me in the second round, or I've done the same thing to him. So it's always been back and forth, which is great, just to keep pushing the best out of each other and try to get the lowest scores possible to take pressure off everyone else and get our team the best chance to win.
Yeah, and I think it certainly brings up everybody else too. With Jake, Daniel Reiger, Ethan Murphy, like all their scores too. They're trying to catch you guys as well. Yeah. You think Dane minds the snow as much as the rest of us, being from Minnesota? No. He's probably played some winter golf, hasn't he? Talking about some of the newer players, Jake, what impact have they made on the team so far? I know a couple have cracked that starting 5 at a couple tournaments in the fall too.
Yeah, I think since I came here, we've always had strong freshmen come in and play well the first year, and this year is no exception. They've contributed a lot to the team throughout the fall and helped us win some tournaments, and I think I'm just excited moving forward. I think they all have a chance to compete. All of the freshmen have a chance to make the starting 5, and it'll be good because it makes the team deeper and just gives us a better chance to win every time we play.
Having a deep team is good, especially with the way the class schedules are, weather, knock on wood, like illness and stuff like that. It's always good to have like your 6, 7, 8 guys to be able to step up there and fire off a good round too. Danny, so on the golf course we talked about it, 3.5, 4 hours you guys are out there, depending on how your game's going. You don't see a lot of each other when you're out on the course, but how do you guys try to build a team dynamic, like that team unity, even though you don't see much of each other when you're actually competing?
I mean, we just try to stay positive. Every time we do see each other, we'll give each other like funny little signs from across the hole. But yeah, I mean, just try to keep it as loose as possible. Like get a guy to laugh, even if he's having a bad round. It could change his course for the rest of the round. So I mean, we're all very close as friends. Every single person gets along. And I mean, during practice and stuff like that on the course, we're really pushing each other in matches, like little practice matches and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, on the tournament course, we're just like waving to each other and doing as much as we can when we're waiting on different part 3s or whatever. But yeah, just try to keep it as positive as possible.
Yeah, you gotta have a little fun out there, right? Yeah. Can't be all serious for all 18 holes. Yeah. Jake, I kind of talked about this with the tennis players yesterday too, because tennis, like golf, is a very individual sport. I mean, you're out there by yourself for hours on end. But at the end of the day, it's not only your individual score that counts, it's the team score that counts too. I mean, the top 4 scores are what factor in to get us team titles. And those trophies are nice sometimes, those big trophies. So, what do you guys do every time you go out on the course to make sure everybody's on the same page? And, how do you guys try to lift each other up, aside from what Danny obviously just said?
Well, it's good because players like myself and Danny, who have been on the team for longer, we've played most of the courses that we play. So we're able to talk in the van on the way there to kids who haven't played about what to know about the course, where to hit the ball, where not to hit it. Aside from that, I know Danny has kind of taken initiative this year to help everyone on the team out with their strategy, just to play smarter and avoid hitting stupid shots and that sort of thing. So it's just kind of the experience and knowing the courses combined with thinking a little bit. And then, like Danny said, to keep a light mood out there and enjoy ourselves helps everyone play better.
Yeah, definitely. And Danny, my first individual question for you before we kind of get into the goals, the team goals and expectations. There's a freshman on the team that you're pretty familiar with, right? Your little brother Jimmy is on the team this year. So what's it like having your sibling on the golf team with you?
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, he's my closest friend I have, so having him out here at school, where I mean, we work together every day back home. So now that he's here with me, there's no breakup between us. So we've been able to put in a lot of work together. He's able, we don't really have swing coaches, so he looks at mine, I look at his to make sure we're in the right spots. So we're able to tell each other different things to work on, and I've been able to, me and him put in a lot of work together this winter. So I mean, it's a lot of fun, and he's probably a week away from being right there, putting everything together, and just shows the depth of our teams. Just everyone's going to be, all the freshmen are really low, so it's a lot of fun.
Well, hopefully your family's watching this right now too, so
Yeah.
Nice plug for the bro. This question is kind of for both of you. We've had some really good rounds the last couple seasons. I mean, we shot a 293 on the final round of Centennials 2 years ago, which was, as far as Braden and I can tell, is probably the lowest round in school history. Can this team go lower? What's this team capable of, and what's it going to take for us to go lower, basically? Danny, we'll start with you.
I mean, now that everyone's back, now that Dane and Alec are back from abroad, I just feel like there's never been a time where we've had as many guys that can shoot low 70s on any given day. So all it's going to take is just everyone sticking to the process and buying into what we've talked about in terms of strategy, and it's going to come together eventually. So everyone just keeps putting in work throughout the season and staying focused. I'm sure everything will come together at least 5 times or so.
And we shot 296 at the Ted Keller Memorial without Dane and Alec as well. Jake, anything to add there?
Yeah, I think Danny said it perfectly. We've shown that we have the potential, and the team is very deep, and there's a lot of guys that can go out and play that well. So I don't think there's any reason to think that we can't do that every day.
And of course, the question I want to end to is just, obviously our goal is to capture the Centennial Conference title and get that AQ to the NCAA Division III championship as well. 2 years ago, we were right there. We made that incredible final round, made a run at F&M. They won by 4 strokes. Unfortunately, we were runner-up. Great finish, though. Last year, we finished 5th. A little more disappointing, obviously, after the previous year's result. So with those 2 experiences in mind, what have you guys kind of been talking about as a team? How are you guys preparing as a team overall to put forth your best effort at Centennials?
I mean, I guess the first year we really focused on our way into the tournament, and just because we had a pretty good team, everyone was playing well, and then I just think we got a little nervous the first 2 days, which kind of screwed us up, which made it the last day needing to be really low to come back. But
you shot 69 that final day, right?
Yeah, I put everything together.
Lowest final round in Centennial Conference history, if my stats are correct.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just gonna take being really focused leading into that week. I mean, last year we kind of had some unfocused tournaments going into it, which really just didn't help us out. Some guys were starting to lose their swings, myself included. So as long as we stay focused on everything that we've been working on and working towards this past off season and in the fall, I think it's just going to be a matter of doing that and putting it all together for 3 rounds, because we've been working smarter and harder than we ever have. So I feel like we have a really good chance this year.
Of course, Jake, you as well, 2 years ago, you finished in a 5-way tie for 6th, or maybe it was a 10-way tie. There was a 5-way tie for 1st and another 5-way tie, just missing all conference honors as well. So, from your perspective, this will be your 4th Centennial Conference Championship as well at the end of April. What do you think the team needs to do?
Well, I think referencing that 293, I'm pretty sure with the exception of our former captain, Will Young, everyone else is still on the team. So we have that experience of being close and being very close to winning. And now that we know how it feels, I think we'll be more prepared to go out and play better for all 3 rounds, like Danny said.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like we said, the guys weren't there in the fall. A couple guys weren't in the fall that would normally be starters. Shot 296 and 299 on back-to-back days. Put that together for 3 or 4 days at the tournament. It's 3 days, right? 3 days now. Didn't it used to be 4? No, maybe it's only been 3. So put it together for 3 days at Centennials. You're looking at a Centennial Conference title. So let's bring one home for Coach Petrie in his final season.
Definitely will.
So anything else to add, guys?
I think that's it. I think we're all really excited for the season. Like you mentioned, with Coach Petrie retiring, trying to send him out on a great season.
Yeah, definitely.
So the Bullets, we were just talking about the schedule before we came in. Part of the squad might be competing at the Dickinson Invitational on Wednesday. Again, that's weather permitting, of course. And then next weekend, the whole team will be at the Hershey Cup Invitational at the Hershey Country Club. The Bullets Invitational is scheduled for April 17th. That will be at Hanover Country Club. So that is the Bullets' lone home invitational. And then the Centennial Conference Championship is at the end of April. I don't have the dates on top of my head at the moment, but it's at the end of April, somewhere in there. So for Danny and Jake, I am Corey Jewett signing off for the Bullets men's golf team.